Namo Shakya Mune Buddhaya. Dear respected teacher, dear noble community, dear Mahasangha, a little bit everywhere. Today is just about right before our opening of winter retreat. After the Dharma talk, we will have our regular face-to-face opening the rains retreat ceremony. And that is to begin our 3 months of dwelling peacefully together. In Vietnamese called Anku. It sounds so beautiful, Anku. Somehow in English is peacefully dwelling in 3 months. And that's been our tradition since I've ever can remember entering the Plum Village tradition. Today's Dharma talk is centered around that, how we can anchor anywhere we go, how to dwell peacefully, any place, any time. So it's not just 3 months, and especially in troubled times, in times of need, in times of uncertainty and anxiety. So our teacher has had the wisdom to re-establish this tradition since the time of the Buddha. The monks had always returned because their life is to serve and to go about the city to beg for food and to share the Dharma throughout the year. So in the rainy season in India, they all come back. And more, I think maybe it wasn't first 3 months, it just added on because they wanted to deepen their practice. So this is a tradition that our teacher, Thay, has revived and how make it sacred, that we should maintain this tradition and cherish it and protect it for our spiritual development. For the monks and nuns, we count our monastic life, our year in the Dharma, based on how many 3 months rains retreat we have attended. So if you miss a rains retreat, then you actually, you don't get one more year. So it's like going to college and you don't go to class, even though 1 year passed, you have not grown and developed. So just a little bit for you to know our tradition. And I shared this morning, been reflecting on what does that have to do with our life now, our situation of our planet and for the human species, and especially for America, a very chaotic year. Chaotic year for many continents, but especially in America, because it's election year. And I believe in 2 days, the brothers and sisters who invited me to give this talk I have to pay debt to Deer Park right away. So I share because they told me they're kind of nervous about sharing 2 days before the election. They might say something, un-PC, and upset the different parties in our Sangha. And we have many backgrounds in our Sangha, and they all take refuge in the Sangha and in the practice. But they all have different political views, so it's kind of a challenge to actually share in a way that can benefit all, no matter what party, what views, what color you are from. And that is, this is the reason why we are brown and we shave our head. We try our best to become apolitical and acultural, a party, a race, when we shave our head, is to remind us we don't belong to any group, any party, any religion, any, well, kind of Buddhist, yeah. But we try best to not to. Some of our brothers are Christian, some of them, we even had Muslim brothers still practice Ramana. So it's a matter of touching the best of humanity in each of us. We call it the bodhicitta, right? The bodhi mind, the mind of awakening. That is the foremost important. So today I'd like to share in the context of Anku, of peacefully dwelling. And I think some of you already are experiencing of that in, quarantine, isolation, living, reducing your movement and social contact. So there's already some aspect. Today I'd like to share about a way of dwelling peacefully in our true home and how that can be an answer for our current situation. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of, a lot of fear, a lot of separation. And this is very important for us as practitioners to know how to come back to ourselves and look deeply at what we can rely on. So today is the, we can learn when we come back 3 months, the monks and nuns, practitioner, we have to reflect on what can we rely on to take refuge in. And when we come together, we have the Sangha, we have each other, we have the practice as well. So this is something for all of us to look at, because our life, monastic, to serve, it brings us a lot of joy, but sometimes it can make us believe that we are progressing, we are doing well. But actually, slowly, it's a way of covering up something. So it's important this 3 months that we look back into ourselves and see how we can solidify our practice. Because the more you practice, actually, the more like it, you take things for granted and it deteriorates a little bit. So 3 months is to revive. And this is a very important aspect for all of us. And whether you're in a family, a couple, relationship, at work, any type of relationship, especially your loved ones, things deteriorate and you hold a lot of things. So the beginning of Anku, the monks and nuns, we have a tradition of moving rooms. And the Blue Cliff brothers had just come here, so after our quarantine, we all found our rooms. And I watched many brothers, they begin to create their place of Anku, cư xá, cái gì? Xuất sĩ là gì? Không phải cư xá mà tăng xá không phải là xuất xá. So it's a place where the monks create a place, a dwelling place for themselves. And then when they move their rooms, before the lay friends stay in there, they are guests. But when the monks' Blue Cliffs come, they are no guests. So the guest master was going crazy because these are very special guests because they are all masters. That means they know where everything is, and they bring everything home, and it's very joyful. I remember sitting over there and watching my brother when we got out of quarantine. They kind of like attacked the Tăng Xá của Deer Park brothers everywhere. And we have a few brothers who are Deer Park brothers. They know where everything is. It's their home. And slowly, like squirrels, they know where all the acorns are. So things come up, the plants. So over in the refugee, 5-star refugee camp, it's become quite a beautiful place for us to Anku. So settling and creating a space for yourself, for the monks, and in each room you create a place where you can enjoy the morning, to enjoy some tea. So each brother have a different character. This is beautiful tradition. When we move room and we settle in a new room, you need to make it your home, and you feel settled and you feel at ease there, comfortable. And this is very important in the Asian tradition. They have a thing that blocks the wind. It's called something bình phong gì đó. Bình phong, right? Yeah. This, Deer Park, gatehouse, that little hill there is called Ngữ Bình. Ngữ Bình is a special place in Huế. It also acts as the place that blocks the wind from hitting the Huế area. I think it was also military, had military aspect. But a bin is a place that a thing or a wall that blocks the wind from coming in. Or here we can say the wind could represent disturbance that makes you unsettled. So when you create your room, you create your space, we need to create it so we are not distracted. So Anku is to come back and find what has been distracting us. These things that we've been paying attention to, the news media, our human drama, our resentment with something. These things, they come and they keep pounding us. And so Anku, to create a settlement, is to fortify yourself, a place where you feel settled and you're less disturbed. And in that space of 3 months, if we can dwell there, we can have insight about ourselves and about the nature of the world, how things happen. When we are pulled away by the disturbance, the media, the news, which party, then it disturbs us and our mind is not very clear. So we cannot see the Dharma underneath, the Dharma impermanence, and the many truths about things. So we begin to rely on things, the news, what's next. So we rely on that is not very stable. So we create a space where it protects us. Not that we run away from society, but each one of us know that there are times when we need to come back and take care of our roots, fortify our roots. Some of us have the luxury, the privilege to do that. Some of us in society do not have that opportunity. But with the insight of interbeing, we do it for the world, and we do it not for our selfish self. And when we can offer to the world this energy, this stability, this non-fear. So coming back, Anku, is to create protection, to create a home for yourself. The other day, some of our lay friends who are also Anku with us, they were digging a hole where the septic tank is. And I remember when I first was here in Deer Park, we placed those tanks in the lay resident. 2 huge, gigantic, big tanks. They're like the size of a room. And they have 3 compartments. And they take care of our septic. And they were digging the hole. And I thought it was the first time since 20 years maybe that they've done it. But luckily he said, no, I've come here and I've done it before. It's a lot of work because the rock of Deer Park, once it's settled, the sand becomes like rock. So they dug out to the cap, and soon the truck, I don't know, have they come pump it yet? They will soon come and pump it, just in case we drink too much tea, the brothers, yeah? So they pump it ahead before the retreats, normally before the big retreat. But it made me reflect, that also has to do with Anku. I was laying my hammock and they were working, and it was quite enjoyable to watch. I'm a lazy monk. And I was reflecting that they were preparing space, preparing so that things don't get stuck. And that is also Anku. Anku is also reflect on yourself. What are some things you can unstuck that has been following you around for 9 months, 1 year? What is that? What can you suck out and go and, give it to the desert? This is also the spirit of Anku, to look into ourselves and to see what is it that we can unblock, untie. So throughout the year, we live with each other, we interact with each other, we watch the media, we know the news. So certain things get stuck in our mind about the person, about the other group, about this political figure, and they become, once you hear their name, you go, right? That is sludge that needs to be pumped. If I came up here and I had a t-shirt with a certain name on here, it would be very different. You would look at me and go, ooh, that is what you need to pump out. These ideas that we have based on names, labels, and things that we call mental formation. Internal knots. Mental formations are things that form in our mind. And mental formation that causes tightness or too quick to react, we call those knots, internal knots. And Anku is to fortify yourself, find a place of nourishment, settlement. You create a fortress so that the things that have been attacking you through the year cannot enter. You're in the Sangha, you're in your abode. And the other aspect of Anku spirit is you have 3 months to look, why do I react so quickly? Why do I have tightness when I see this person, see that color, hear that name, see those group of brothers? Why is it that one brother every time? And this is the work of our practice. 3 months we need to, and this is our task, and what we can offer to the situation now. People ask us, why aren't we going out there and doing social activism, being involved with causes? Luckily, in our tradition, we have brothers and sisters who take care of that. Other brothers take care of other things. But we all need it, whether it's taking care of external action or internal action, keeping the monastery alive and vibrant. So they need each other, internal, external. But both, whether you're internal, external, you need a break. And 3 months is a break. It's not to, and the break here is not to let loose, but it's to fortify, to deepen our root. So remember that, When we hike the mountain now, remember Ngữ Bình, the gatehouse. So the image here that Thay last night we heard, like two mountain here, and then behind us Yên Tử, and right there is Escondido, and right there is Ngũ Bình. Secret, huh? You can only see a little bit. And if you ever drive down there, that big road, what is it? The big, the one that comes over here, I forget the name. And you can barely see what's up here. So that's why Deer Park is called the Great Hidden Mountain. And I remember when Thay told me that name, he said, don't forget, it's not Tiểu Ẩn, it's Đại Ẩn. That means we don't hide from society. But Đại here, you learn to fortify the treasure is hidden. For people, when they discover it, they can benefit. So it is not you're running. And Thay got the name Ẩn from the word escondido. In Spanish, it means to hide, to retreat. And in the early days, I asked some of the Latino Mexican workers, and they say, yeah, you see policía. You see policía, escondido, like that. So it means, you want to get trouble, you hide under the truck. So it means hidden. Escondido means the hidden valley, and you can see Escondido is a little secret little spot, and we are the hidden mountain of Escondido. So remember that. This whole place is a reminder for us to always have a place that we can take refuge in. Don't be these 3 months, watch that. Whatever it is that you find out about yourself, use that to reflect on, whatever that habit is. So we'll listen to one sound, where the kim is on the bell. So as practitioners at home, you can use this. You've been living at home, you've been to the monastery, you learned some practice in your first retreat, but now it seems so far away. So you can follow us for Anku, and maybe on the weekend, you can promise yourself on a Saturday or a Sunday to also Anku with us, knowing that there are many monasteries in France, in America, in Asia who are also practicing. And so I invite you in your own home to make that space. Recently we had a retreat for, what kind of retreat? Oh, for the celebration of the 20-year anniversary of Deer Park. And I remember taking care of one family, Dharma sharing family. And I shared with him that we all need to create a space for us where you can put your laptop, where you can watch a Dharma talk, where you can have something that can remind you of when you first came across the practice. So create a sacred space, your cư xá, your cư xá, a place where you can really settle. Just like us here in the monastery, we will do. And I believe we will also have Dharma talks live and streamed and recorded. And I believe in Plum Village, this winter retreat, they will be exploring the wisdom of non-discrimination, how to practice with when others are discriminating, and how to practice how non-discrimination. So this is a kind of theme, and I think the brothers and sisters, we're looking into following that exploration, especially in our times now, when things are tightening up and becoming more polarized, or being part of a party or a group. So there's a tightening up on both sides, the left and the right. I hear that it's affected family members and intergenerational too. Like in the Vietnamese community, I hear that there's the older generation. I read an article about older generation subscribe themselves to a certain kind of view, and the younger generation a certain kind of view. Actually, me and my mom, we try to avoid that conversation. She's and as well as my father and many, and it's wonderful. You see that you don't have to. You can have different views, but you learn to be careful and sensitive, so you don't make it a place for conflict, and you respect each other. I had to practice the 14 mindfulness training a lot when I was at home, and that's you might think that is there's some benefit to that. So I invite you to do that. Create a place where you can reflect with us the wisdom of non-discrimination for this 3 months. No matter what happens in 2 or 3 days, you stay focused on the 3 months. Don't let the phong, the wind of politics and the society disturb you. That is your challenge, to practice in such a way that you rely on that. No party can disturb us. The word party, it stick with me with the story with Thay one time. Before going back to Vietnam, the 3rd trip, I think. I forget which trip, but I think it was BBC, BBC or something, in France, in Paris, or UK, I forget. They wanted to interview some of Thay's students before Thay went to Vietnam. And we were like scared because I think Thay released something before the trip, and it already disturbed the Vietnamese a little bit stirring. So we were quite nervous. It's like Thay, and they wanted the student, because they know already Thay's view, but they wanted to, it's me, Phap Cao, Hing Im, and one more sister. So we had to go and talk to them on the radio station. But we were too nervous, so we went to Thay, the 4 of us, and we asked Thay, can you give us some advice just in case they ask us political question, because we are, we grew up in Plum Village, we don't know very much about the sensitive stuff in Vietnam. And I remember Thay listened to Sister Hing Im, and I shared a little bit, and I think Phap Cao was just sitting there, and then Thay took a while to answer, and he said, Thay, trust you. You speak what you have in your mind. Just share the simple thing. Thay does not have a party line. He said, Plum Village does not have a party line. That's the first time I hear Thay say something like that. You see, because we were scared with politics. And Thay said, Plum Village, we don't have a party line. Meaning, Thay does not want us to share his viewpoint. We have to rely on our practice and share from our space, whatever we share. So Thay doesn't want us to be his puppet. That was wow. After that, I was like, this is really my teacher. The Plum Village does not have a party line. That's the only time I ever hear Thay say party line. Party line is a very political terminology. And to see your teacher use it in that context, it woke me up. And that's why now I'm very sensitive to when we come up with policies that relate to society and views and, like abortion or gay or, rights and things. And we have to be very careful because they can all of a sudden block us and we become a party, and that will break our precept. In the monastic precept, we're not allowed to be partisan, right? We actually have to be trans-partisan. We transcend the party and the terminology. So for us to practice non-discrimination, non-party something, yeah. I want to also share that Thay, his whole life, he's focused on community, on Sangha. And it's a very difficult, I guess, medicine for our time, because we've all grown up so individualistic. And not just in the West and outside of Vietnam, but also in Vietnam. So it's not East and West anymore, but it's just a kind of modern mentality. We have a tendency to hold on to ourselves, our views, our habits, our way. Brothers and sisters we get along with, those we don't. So this is made me reflect a lot on what is happening in society. And we think it's politician and it's political. But in fact, we also do that within ourselves. We are also politicians. So we look at other people and we think, they present certain things, but they're not really like that. And we do that very subtly. We are very good politicians. In front of certain people, we say this, and the other people, in a big meeting, we're quiet because it's politically probably more appropriate. And then outside of the meeting, we have lobbying. So we do the same thing. We have parties, many parties in the Sangha, at home as well. In front of your father, you're like that, and among your sister, you're like that. So don't think that politician is external, those are the ones, blue and red. We also have black, blue, brown, yellow, and we are all politicians. And if you're not mindful, you will not see the subtlety of our mind. Very, very certain people, we present ourselves. We want to present ourselves according to what we think they think of us. And so in the Sangha, our way of behaving, our habits, very strong. And Sangha here also includes the family. I apologize, I'm speaking mostly with all the brothers and sisters, the monks and nuns who are Anku, but when I say Sangha or practitioner, I mean it for homes, couples. It applies to everything. So this 3 months, we need to identify what kind of politician am I. You have to accept that you are a politician first. Don't think, I am a practitioner, I am a monk. But actually, the habit of a politician is also a human aspect. We want people to like us, we don't like to be hate. We usually avoid reprimanding somebody because they will no longer support us. It's like, that's very, very tricky. So anyway, this is something for us to explore. I invite you. And it comes back to Sangha, why Thay has emphasized so much on Sangha. Because there's certain things we do not see about ourselves. And we also need our brothers and sisters. we are very good to Lapto. I don't know how to translate that. You know, Lapto is Dung. What is Dung? Anyway, I love that word because I hear it, but I know it means like Lapto. It's like, this is Lapto. Right? You, my stand? Oh, my standing. I have a stand on that, like a platform. Yeah. So you know, we all have that, and we have to be careful because it can exclude others. And this is something I've been watching to see how much of a politician I am. When I was at home, I was like that. I was with my father, and I was very skillful to do certain things. And yeah, it's just a koan for you. Don't think that the politician is outside of you. We are also that one politician that side, and that one too. We are not just one side, huh? They both behave the same way. They just wear different colors. So in the Sangha, we have many, we rely. So taking refuge in the Sangha is a kind of a very beautiful, almost like a new way for, not a new way, but it's really emphasized in the Plum Village tradition because it's difficult. And if we can live among our brothers and sisters who have different views, who are from a different political viewpoint, meaning policy, they have different rules, different regulation, different, so I don't mean political as in politics, but different viewpoints. And if you can live among your brothers and sisters who are different from you, who ascribe to different things, then you're a little happier, hopefully. Yeah? So it's a training. And it's also difficult because the Sangha sees things about you that you don't want to look at. So the hardest thing for a practitioner is to live among brothers and sisters who know you. This is my 20 years being in Sangha, that is the most difficult thing. Because first, you don't accept it. You say, they don't understand me. And two, you begin to create a group out of them, and then you become isolated. And if you don't release that, it's very difficult. Sometimes I call it the rubbing, the crucible. And why does Thay emphasize that? Because it's the medicine for our time of individuality, separation, views. You see? What are the things that move a newspaper and the news? Individual, not following the human guidelines, right? Breaking precepts, tempting, craving. And these are all driven by an individual way of education, training, culture. So that's why I feel so committed to remain in the Sangha. As a Sangha, we have the Bình Phong. And then internally, we learn to get rid of the septic stuff from our tank, from our head, empty, unpump your septic this winter. And the third is to rely on the Sangha. You follow the Sangha, you do what the Sangha does, you become like a novice monk or a novice nun. The longer you practice, the more septic you have. And if you don't pump your septic, sorry, this is not very hygienic, but I like some essence, okay? I'm sorry, but I think Vietnamese culture, you're not supposed to speak about the septic stuff, Nó hôi quá. Con xin lỗi. Whoever translate the right perfume word, okay? And so the three refuge, fortify, put yourself, traditionally in Buddhist tradition, they call it protect your six senses, to create a place to watch where your eyes are in. And the other is to look inside, to see what kind of habits of thinking, habits of sleep, eating, what are you attached to, what are your addictions, coffee, chocolate, mì gói, internet, what certain sites you can't resist. You are unsettled if you don't go to it. That is septic. Because what it does, it lose your freedom, makes you lose your freedom. Every time you go to it, it becomes stronger. You have a tendency to hide, is also septic. You have a tendency to avoid a certain brother or sister or a certain group or certain things, is also septic. You lose your freedom, or you're attached to a certain brother or sister, is also septic. So in a Sangha we can watch this, and being among the Sangha, it protects us, and we also get nourished by it. You don't need to worry about safety because there's many brothers, the coyotes will eat before you, right? We were just in the mountain, we were joking about where to sleep so the coyotes will eat the brother outside first. That's where it came from, sorry. But you know the birds, the group of birds or bees, they fly together and they protect themselves. And this is what I've learned being in the Sangha. Worst case, you're not doing well, your practice terrible, you just follow the Sangha. The Sangha go to sitting, you go. You don't need to try to and that becomes your habit. So yourself, you like, don't like, preference, no preference, you rely on the Sangha. And this is, for me, what has kept me not just alive in the Sangha, but also enjoy and cherish, and also want to develop it. I share this with a lot of my younger brothers here in Deer Park, who are very lovely, very dedicated. And I see that please don't miss this opportunity for this 3 months to fortify yourself and enrich yourself. There's one practice that I learned when I was studying Master Tăng Hoi. We were looking last year into the different ancestral teacher in our lineage that Thay has taught us, and we're bringing that out to English. So there's a teaching in the Diamond Sutra that is mentioned, and this is the beautiful refuge, and this can enlighten us a little bit on the deeper refuge. And in Vietnamese, it's called vô sở trú. Vô sở trú như sinh kỳ tâm. That is like, you need to remember that. If you take in Vietnamese, try to learn that line. It's Sino-Vietnamese. But means should. Vô sở is the place, the non-local, the place that is, there's no place like there. Vô sở, vô is no, sở is place, no place. Or in neuroscience or quantum science is non-local. Trú is to dwell, to take refuge in. So take refuge in the place that is not a place. So there's nothing to rely on. So where is that place? It's so cool, man. It's like because we always look for refuge, right? Even the Dharma. And so this is a teaching that we can also practice to find where is that place? Where can I grab it? What is it that I can rely on? So in this time right now, we invest so much on external things. Oh, when this party wins, things will be great. And you ask yourself, is that really going to be like that? If your party, the one you voted for, wins, everything will be okay? So we all the watering, make you believe that, oh, if this happens, left or right, then things will be great. Or actually, if the other one happened, and everything will be terrible. So you take refuge in that, because we've been constantly playing that. Is it the cycle, the vicious cycle, and it makes us believe on that, and then we rely on it. So the place of the non-local, I translate it as one should take refuge in the non-local, or one should take refuge not in any place or anything or anybody. At first, you can rely on a teacher, you can rely on a monk, a nun, rely on a friend. But if they become a reliance that you cannot let go, then you've basically enslaved yourself. So what a teacher can do, what a Sangha can do, what the Dharma can do is to help you touch the place that is most reliable, which is an internal place. And the word Như Sin Kỳ Tâm, translated is like our mind of Bodhi. Tâm here is our mind. Kỳ Tâm is like the mind that is like the Bodhi, the awakened mind, the mind of love and understanding. Must be born. Sin is born, must arise from this place. That is bodhicitta. That is your aspiration. That is what drives you, what brings you meaning. And that is what you can rely on. So it needs to come from within. And it does not rely on any place, any person, any party, any group of people, any identity. These letters, so don't just identify yourself. I am A type, I am, whatever, from this gender or that gender. So you begin to rely too much on labels, and we start to label other people. And this becomes a hamper. What in the teaching we call just convention. They're just ways to help us, like the women and men's bathroom. They're just convention. Don't let it become your disturbance. Where is the one in between? How come there? Then you disturb. The purpose is to go to the bathroom. Is not the sign on the door. So go use the bush. Of course, there is some sensitivity. Some people need some that, we need to be skillful. But what I share with you here is don't let the signs, the symbols, the party become your reliance. This is the deeper meaning of the Dharma. And sometimes we call that the nature of signlessness. Don't get caught in the signs, in the colors, in the symbol. They are just conventions. Of course, we have young people's retreat, we have old people retreat, we have retreat for LGBTQ, XT something, right? We have retreat for people of color, we have retreat for veterans. Maybe one day we have retreat for a-liberal, like conservative. How about we have a retreat for all the conservative and see what that looks like? Because there's an assumption that everyone who's a meditator, practitioner, are all like, guacamole liberals. What does it Phap say? Something, avocado liberals or something like that. I forget what you call them, but they know how to eat avocado on toast. These are labels, He told me recently there was an article identifying which side eats what dish. And you read the article like that, it's easy to get influenced by that. So there are ways that we define ourselves and define each other. And the Dharma here is to practice so you can see beyond that, the signlessness of it. So at first we take refuge in the Buddha. The 3 refuges. The Thay has 3 parts. Usually it's just one section with 3 jewels, right? Taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. But Thay added 2 more stanzas. The second stanza is dwelling in the refuge of the Buddha, dwelling in the refuge of the Dharma. So it brings it to the present moment within this space, in this dwelling. And the third stanza is to taking refuge in the Buddha within myself, the Dharma within myself, the Sangha within myself. So at first it's helpful to take refuge in Thay, to take refuge in the Buddha, to chant their name, to read the books, but those things help us touch the signless Buddha, the signless Thay. So you always ask us, they always ask me, a lot of people ask me and say, what happens when Thay passes? They always say that, People, especially certain kind of, from a certain tradition, they always look for a continuation. And they look for like the next monk or nun to continue. This is a way of training a certain culture, but we're not able to touch Thay within us. What is Thay has been teaching, that is our teacher. So when we breathe and we look, sometimes we look at a cushion that the monks and nuns put to represent Thay. And we need to move and behave and keep awareness that Thay is present. That is a practice. So when you remember, all of a sudden you have access. You plug into the presence of that energy. That is the signless Thay. But when you forget, then you behave a certain way, I remember when Thay here in Plum Village is like, it's very clear when he enters a room, everything changes. And one morning, lazy morning, the brothers, we go hiking early, 5 o'clock, we pack, and we go down this road, and Thay over where the sisters, that road there, the fire road they call it, and we were walking down, and Thay had this little bird that every time you press the bird, it goes choo, 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 choo. And so we were like going down, there was a bunch of us, and we were like talking, walking, and like coyotes, And Thay, right where the bush is, he went, choo, 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 and we already know that sound. I mean, you've never seen brothers and sisters stop so quickly. And we saw the flashlight going, and everyone moved to the side, and we started walking slowly, and Thay didn't say a word. And then, we were walking, and we know that Thay can hear our voice, so we were walking very mindfully until we hit clarity, and then up the hill again. So Thay has a presence, And so there is clearly an energy. And what spiritual practice, spirituality, or whatever you call it, is the practice is to remember, and which is actually another word for mindfulness. Or sometimes you say forgetfulness, right, is the opposite of mindfulness, meaning forgetfulness is the opposite of remembering. So everything you've learned, do you still remember? The first retreat that you went to? Or are you now a Dharma teacher, an OI member? Now you're in charge of the CTC, and you know how things are done. Those become septic stuff, because it is an identity, is a view about yourself, that this is just for beginning practitioner. I don't need to go to sitting, I don't need to go to walking. Or walking and talking, that's just for beginners. That's a very difficult practice. I know one young brother, when we were in Bird Mountain, we were all sharing like what we want to practice 3 months. He shared, I hope I can practice walking without talking. And I shared with him, then you need to walk far from your friends. Because to practice that in the Sangha, you get made fun of, If you walk and don't talk, some brothers will say, come on, don't be so caught up in the form. You've grown up now. It's just an excuse because they can't practice it. So my practice is to support that brother, right? I'm not going to practice that yet. I will try, but it's a very honorable, I remember making that promise. It's so hard, because there's something about it that we think is unnatural. But if you walk next to Thay, I dare you to speak. Why is that? What is spiritual practice but that? To remember that you walk with your teacher. Oh man, this is scary stuff because I'm going to have to do this. I open the lid and you cannot close it. But I encourage every one of us to come back to our original, when we first came across the Dharma, whatever that is for you. Don't let someone be your master. So that place that you can't rely on is internal, and only you know what you do in your room when it's dark. Only you know what to do, what you're doing in the bathroom when no one sees. So this is something that makes your spiritual practice last. Is the things that are not seen, the signless. That is one of the secret, is to don't share about it, keep it for yourself. Is the hidden mountain. And for me, that's very important as a practitioner, that we don't rely on outer form too much, outer appearances too much. But walking without talking helps, yeah? So don't be too quick to get rid of all the forms and all your refuge. In the beginning, you take refuge in your mentor, your elder brother, your Sangha, Thay, the books. But those things, as you take refuge, they should fortify that place of Bosatu, the non-local refuge. And that means it can't be found anywhere. That means it's there. So every time you come back to the present moment, remember that there is that place, and it is with you. It is the bodhicitta. It is your mind of understanding, mind of love, and we all have that. Even those who we think are not practicing. So we come support each other, so we remind each other that every one of us, no matter where we're at now, we might be stuck, our septic tank is half full, overloaded, and we help each other to revive, renew ourselves. So that is the true refuge, the most reliable. So this is the deepest teaching. So know where you're at, okay? But the teaching, the Dharma should help you touch that. Don't rely too much on, so the 3 months, watch what you grasp for and what you hold on to tight. You need to release. If you take refuge too much on somebody, you have to recognize what is it that they're offering you that you cannot have yourself. And this is longer lasting, because when that brother, when that sister, when you are on your own and have to go home and take care of your parents, when Thay is no longer around, when the thing that you rely on is no longer around, you are not unsettled. You are still Anku. That is the how to practice Anku throughout throughout the year and any place. And it is a challenge, it is a training. It is not something that you can perfect. We are part-time practitioner, sometimes part-time Buddhas, yeah? And this is very forgiving. But please do not be too good of a politician. Sometimes you need to be a little bit more honest to yourself and ask for help. Ask your roommate to share with him that you want to practice this. And when you voice it, this is what taking face-to-face is. You take refuge in the Sangha, and actually it would be nice if we, in our mentor and mentee group, we can all share that. What we would like our brothers and sisters to support us on in this 3 month retreat. What are something we want to work on? To untie, to fortify more, and to take refuge more, yeah? Untie, unseptic, yeah? And we all have it, I have to be truthful, it's like there's, nobody can escape those things. It's part of the compost and flower, that's why I love Thay's teaching, because it's mud and lotus. It's not like we practice so that there will be only lotus. And Thay said, don't throw your compost away. Pump it out and then leave it out in the sun, and then it becomes good manure. So there's nothing bad about it, but you have to know where and why they have formed the stuff in your tank. And this is the value of having the Sangha. We can support each other. So we wish you a wonderful next month, 2 months, 3 months, and forever. It's not in a couple of days. And when you hear this, please let go of that idea that everything will be okay if this happens. Or let go of the idea everything will be so awful if this happens. This is the virus that is going through right now. So you need to reestablish yourself, make your home, and follow the monks and nuns for these 3 months. And you will follow us online, participate, build that Anku place for yourself. And yeah, it's, is like a poof of plush air. And this is the place, and that is the truth of the Dharma. Impermanence, interconnection, and we know what is more solid, more reliable. And so we wish you happy practice for everyone, whether you're here in Deer Park, at home, with your new corner, your room, your breathing room, and within your online Sangha, that you create a rhythm, space and schedule. Remember that. Monastery, it's about space, schedule. Do, like that. And things will cook. Things will cook. So we wish you to do that. Create a schedule for yourself every weekend or every evening sometime to go online with your brothers and sisters. So happy practice, peaceful practice, and lots of fruits. Thank you for listening and joining our Sangha.